Then I'm going to hit the go live button. 3, 2, 1. We are live. Good morning, kids. Hey, how is everybody today? It's Hump Day, and it's actually one of the great days of every month that we look forward to because the SAMURAINATOR, Sam Tran, our good brother from up there in Washington, he comes live on the show once a month for us, and he gives us such incredible value, incredible tips, golden nuggets, great things that we can learn from and utilize to help accomplish our mission of changing the world. And so what we're doing today, kids, is we're doing what we like to call Simple Science with Sam. And we are going to do a demonstration for you today where Sam is going to slice and dice one of the competitors, so-called. We like to call them the leeches, because they're always trying to cling off of our backs and bring us down, you know, just like leeches do, right? And so we picked up one of the Leaches filters right here that Sam's got, a premium Korean-made filter that the price of that thing was $27.90 on Amazon. And if you have Amazon Prime, there's not even any shipping. So we got that baby shipped up to Sam so he could work his magic on it. And then we're going to show you, after this one is cut apart, then we're going to show you the filter, the Kangen filter, which is one of these right here. That these when they're regular price, their price is $120. When they're on sale, they're $100. And so what we want to try to do here, kids, is demonstrate something that we have always said about the Enagic Kangen water machine, is that you get what you pay for. And so we're going to put that theory and that thought process to test here this morning. We're going to find out what's inside of this cheaper filter and find out if we are actually getting what we're paying for. Yeah. We like to roll with the truth here at the Kong family. And so we're going to go ahead and let Sam get after this baby, and let's see what's inside that little rascal, Sam.
All right, so we just pulled this out here. This is a brand new one, one of the brand B, and this is the Kangen one. So they both they have the measurements actually on the box, the specifics, but they both weigh about the same, you know. But the Kangen one here has a little gap here because I showed you guys last time what was in this gap. It has extra layers of filter. So this is the brand B here, aftermarket brand. I'm gonna pop this guy open, put all this stuff down. So
and just so everybody knows, once we're done cutting this one open, we see what's inside of it. Then I'm gonna switch screens and show you the pictures from the one that Sam cut apart last week. And so, just so you know, because we wanna be able to compare these things apples to apples.
That's true. That's true. We want to make a good comparison here. So I'm just making a mark where I'm going to follow this line around. Not too straight, but straight enough. So get my safety glasses on here. Okay, so it might be a little noisy while I cut this thing open, okay?
Right on.
Got my little Dremel. Take a couple minutes. Just clamping this down so I don't have to hold this.
Yeah, great idea.
Almost done. Let's just take a little cut all the way around. All right. Let me grab a screwdriver and crack this guy open. Let's see here. A couple of screwdrivers. So can you see okay there, JJ?
Yes, sir. Looks good.
Okay, hopefully I cracked it enough. Might need to do a little bit more cutting. Hey, but maybe you can put me on mute while you talk about the pictures. Share the other pictures. So I'm going to cut a little bit more.
Okay.
Put me on mute while I'm cutting here.
Option to mute you. So right here, you guys, is the these are the pictures that we're going to be going through once we get this done. I'll and Sean, you can't see these right now, but on the live side they can see these. And I'll share screen after Sam's done, and then you'll be able to see these as well.
I saw them the other day and I was blown away.
Yeah, so these, you know, it's going to be interesting to see what all this is about. No, why is there only just the one picture there? Let's see here. Okay, come on, why are you doing this, computer? This is not the time to be acting up on me. Okay, is Sam done? Let's unmute him. Hey, Sam, are you all done?
Yeah. So I got it cracked open a little bit. Came out here. So I'm just going to go ahead and open this. This one's dry, so I didn't. The last one was wet, so all this carbon was you know, a little bit more sticky because it was a used one. This
Right.
one's a brand new filter. I didn't want to put it through my machine. But if you could, can you see okay there, JJ?
Yes, sir.
So I'm pulling this thing out here. And so last time we had about 10 layers. Looks like we got about, let me see here. So we last time we had 2 layers of carbon. This one is just one big layer of carbon.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of a double filter, it's actually a single filter. And then it's got this. It's got one layer here. I'm going to take this apart. Put it down here. And it's got this tube. Take this tube apart. And then it's got this one layer on top. It's kind of glued in there. So it's got one filter on top, a big layer of carbon, a second layer down here, 2 layers, and it looks like it's got another paper filter. So in total, it's got 4 layers,
Okay.
as opposed to what we had in the Canyon one, which was 10 layers.
Yeah. So let's do this now, Sam, just for
Yeah.
the fun of it and to show people the difference.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, you know, what it looks to me like there is it's pretty much, it's just the carbon and that's about it.
Yeah.
And, you know, those other layers are obviously,
Just paper paper filters, right?
yeah, they're going to see people are going to see a big difference here between this and so that's
Okay.
a
Yeah,
big,
let me, because I have a used one here. I have a used adage filter right
okay.
here. It's wet still. But let me go get another one of these trays real quick, and then I'll come back and cut this one open.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sounds like a great idea.
Yeah. So let me put this down. Hang on, give me 30 seconds here.
All right. Okay, I'm going to stop the share. Okay, we're back to here. Wow, that's pretty interesting. You know, all you got is just a big old thing of the carbon and a couple of cheesy little filters. So yeah, it's going to be real interesting to see this one come apart now and
Yeah, so I've got a brand new one, but you know, being 120 bucks, 110 bucks, I'm not gonna cut a brand new one. I'm gonna cut a used one up. But same thing.
yeah, I hear you.
Those filters look like coffee filters.
Oh, these are both Enagic. So this is a used one and this is a new one. I'm gonna cut the used one up. So we cut the other one up already. So I'm gonna make a little mark here. Walk around this thing. So this is a repeat of what I did the other day. That was I think JJ, you're gonna pull up the pictures of the other one.
Yeah, I was working on pulling those up, but since how you're tearing this one apart, this will do the trick on that and we'll do it live.
Okay, all right, I'm gonna start. It's gonna get a little noisy.
Okay.
Almost done, guys. That should do it. Got some of the water sprayed on my face. Okay, let's see here. Hopefully I should be able to crack this guy open now. There we go. So the first layer that is on top there is this white layer. And you see that there, JJ?
You can can you bring it up a little closer to your phone so that they can, there we go.
Yeah, so there's this white layer here that pops off, right? That's on the top. Okay, so I'm going to pull this filter. So there's one filter here.
And look at the thickness of that filter.
Yeah, it's pretty thick.
Can you
So
compare that to the other thickness of the other filter?
Yeah, hang on here. Well, hang on. Let me take this one apart. So it's all laid out in layers. Okay.
Okay.
So we got the white part, the calcium sulfide here, right, which helps take away the what is it? The sulfur smell, right, of certain water. So that's what that calcium sulfide is for.
Oh, okay.
Calcium sulfide. And then underneath that, we've got the cloth filter that we've got another cloth filter here, right? And then underneath that is another layer. And this one's like glued in, so it's a little hard to get out. Let me pull this thing up here. You guys see that?
Yeah.
Get this thing apart. Glued in there. Pretty good. Okay. And then there's actually a thin mesh right here. There's actually another mesh. I can't really poke my finger through. It's a mesh. So got a few more layers here than the other one. The calcium sulfide. Then we get into the carbon. Okay. So we got one pile of carbon here. Now this one's a wet filter because it's a used filter. I never used a cheap one in my the aftermarket one in my machine. That was a dry filter. So this is one portion of the carbon coming out here. One pile. Okay. Making a mess. And then it looks like I've got another filter here. I've got one more filter down here. Let me get this thing out somehow. There we go. So, there we got another layer here. And then
that's like a same kind of material as that other one that was just above it, right?
Yep. Yeah, same material. And then, yeah, these two are the same. And then it looks like we've got another layer of carbon, the second layer of carbon here. So we got a second pile of carbon. Scrape all this stuff out. This pile, this second half of the carbon looks like it's more than, I'll move the camera once I'm done scraping all the stuff out here. It looks like it's larger.
There's a bigger pile of carbon in that second layer.
Yeah. And then there's another filter down here. Let's pull this thing up. Then we got one more filter.
And that is another filter that's the same as those other layers. Is that the same material and everything, you think? Same thickness?
Yeah, it feels exactly the same. And then we've got another layer that's glued in here, and I don't think I'll be able to take this one out. Yeah, there's another layer that's glued in there.
Okay.
way down at the bottom here.
Yeah.
So, so if you look at this, let me clean up my hands and grab the camera. Here, it's carbon. Just activated charcoal. Okay, so let me move my camera here.
So Sam, as you're going through this, can you kind of explain to everybody what each of these layers is supposed to be doing, and what would their thought processes behind all of these different layers be, as far as putting all those in versus what the other guys where they just have 2 layers and a big pile of stuff in there. What is the reasoning you think behind why Enagic is going this far?
You know, it's there's a when you're the original equipment manufacturer, you want to have a certain grade of quality, right? Because it's your name, it's your company. You know,
Right.
so clearly you can see that one is not like the other as far as complexity and as far as engineering, right? So if you're trying to make money, you want to make things cheap. You want to reduce costs of materials, maybe simplify production. But if you're trying to make a high-end quality product, you're gonna engineer it to a certain way, right? And so if you see here, both of these are filters. This was the aftermarket. How much was this one, JJ? The aftermarket one?
Basically $28, $27.90 on Amazon.
Okay, so like $30. Okay, so you've got a fabric, 1 layer of fabric up here. Then you've got a 1 layer of carbon, and then you've got another filter layer, and then there's one more filter layer down at the bottom. So how many layers we got total?
1, 2, 3, 4 layers.
4 layers, right? And so this is the Enagic one here. You've got a mesh in the cap, one, right? And then you've got a filter element, right? And then you've got a second filter element, and then you've got a material, calcium sulfite, right here. So keep track of this, okay? So we got 1, 2, 3, and 4, right?
Yeah.
The 5th one is another filter element, and then you've got a layer of carbon, first smaller layer, and you've got another filter element.
There's 7.
Okay, and then another carbon layer,
8.
another filter element,
9.
9, and we got one more filter element at the bottom there.
So there's 10 different layers of filtration.
Yeah.
Versus 3 layers of filtration.
Well, four on the
4 layers on that one and
Yeah.
10 on the other.
Yeah, and so they both have carbon, which serves to remove chlorine and other things, and they both got filter elements, right, to keep the layer separated. This filter, aftermarket filter, doesn't have calcium sulfite, and it's a thin layer of calcium sulfite. It's not very thick. It's probably just 5 millimeters or less of calcium sulfite. But calcium sulfite is used to remove sulfur. You know, that rotten egg smell, you know, when you have well water, right?
Yeah.
So quite interesting. It's like I've never taken one of these apart. I'm going to put this down here. I've never, but it's quite interesting to see these differences, right?
Yeah, you know, I think it's a perfect example, buddy, of just exactly what we're always talking about when it comes to these machines versus the Leaches machines out there, as Jerry Costeca likes to call them. He's nicknamed them all the Leaches. And he says whenever I'm referring to the competitors, the so-called competitors, that I'm just going to call them the Leaches. And, and so, you know, we always say you get what you pay for it. In fact, that's not something that we made up or anything. That's kind of a long-tested saying that people in all industries and all matters of buying things, that you can beat get what you pay for most of the time. And this is just another perfect example of that.
Yeah.
And I'm really tickled to be able to show people this, because yeah, you can get that filter for less than $30, or you can pay the $100 to get the, and just for everybody's information out there, Enagic puts these filters on sale twice a year, and they do that in June and December. And so the 6th month and the 12th month, they put these filters on sale for the whole month. What I do is I always buy a filter when they go on sale. And that way I have one sitting around just in case one of my people needs one, or if I need. Mine's kind of like clockwork. I get a year and a month out of my filter.
Yeah. So these filters, because the filter material and how many layers is going to allow you to capture more. Right behind me is my car, right? So I take care of that car, and I use a pretty high grade oil filter. I've been using K&N oil filters since the beginning of the car. I just found out that the Mobile One has a filter that's exactly like the K&N filter, and I looked inside, and it's exactly the same. And so I'm going to cut one open here. Well, actually, other people on YouTube have already cut one open, but I don't really need to. But the same thing. I take care of this thing because it takes me everywhere. I take care of the tires, because if the tires blow, it's a mess. It's a messy situation, right? So, but that's just a car. I can get a new car. With my body, I got one. I can't get replacement. I can get replacement parts, but they're not as good as OEM. So yeah, you can get a knee replacement, you can get a heart replacement, or kidney, liver, whatever. But it just, the new stuff doesn't work as the original stuff.
Yeah.
Right. And so to keep my body original, I want to get the good stuff to put in and filter all my water, because 3/4 of my body is water.
Yeah. Amen. Hey, I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
Those little layers of filter, can you hold up one of the Kong filter layers and then also hold up the Leach filter layer? Let's see what the difference is between them. Or are they about the same thickness? Are they pretty much the same kind of material?
They're well, these two here. Now, one's wet and stuff like that, but one's brand new. So yeah, they're the same type of material.
And about the same thickness as well?
Yeah, same thickness. Yeah, the texture is the same. So these filter elements are actually pretty cheap. So they probably got the same material. It's just that in this whole thing here, they've got one of these. This up here is a little different. This one up here is well, actually no. This one up here is, these two might be the same up here, on the very top.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's like a quilted. It's like you see, it's quilted or something there.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It looks like they got some sort of a thick mesh.
Yeah.
Some crisscrossing.
Yeah, that's behind it. That's the mesh behind it. And
is it like a cheesecloth or something?
Yeah, something like that. But if you look on the Enagic filter here, there's a cheesecloth down here. There's like a cheesecloth layer down here.
And it looks like a really thin, almost like a mosquito netting type.
Yeah, so that's one of the layers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then one more down there, 10. So we got 10 layers here, where you've got. Let me see if I could see if there's a mesh underneath this guy. There might be a mesh underneath here. So this filter might be 4 or 5 layers. But they use so much glue, I can't. Yeah, they use too much glue here. And the glue is kind of all over the place. It's not in the area that's supposed to be, you know, because if you use too much glue, then the water can't pass, you know. So it looks like there's a big bead of glue here and a big bead of glue around the edge here, right? Whereas the Enagic filter here, so they've got a small bead of glue on the outside here, and a small bead of glue on the inside, and then the cheesecloth material in between. Whereas this one, you know, it's got a big bead of glue here, so so it's a little tougher to pull out. Yikes! Yikes!
Not to mention having all that glue in there. Your water's got to be going past that glue.
Yeah, you can kind of hear it when I pop the glue out here. And yeah. So underneath this thing here, there's no cheesecloth.
Nothing.
There's no
yeah,
cheesecloth.
it still is. It's only 4 layers. And then how thick is that layer? Is that the same thickness as?
Yeah, I mean yeah, they're the same. They're both kind of quilted. They feel the texture is a little different. The texture is a little different than the other filter, you know.
Interesting.
But yeah, so these two are the same here, but underneath there's no cheesecloth, where underneath the Enagic one is a little cheesecloth here.
Yeah, just one more layer.
Yeah, so there's only one layer here, layer here, second layer, third layer, fourth layer.
Yeah,
that's it. Whereas in the Enagic one, you got 10 layers. But then you also have different components, right? This calcium sulfite is really important for us to take the sulfur out. You know, so that's totally missing from this filter. There's no calcium sulfite. And some of the spin jobs that they say, oh, calcium sulfite's not good for your body and all this stuff. Well, if you like drinking sulfur well water, I don't know if any one of you guys have gone to a hot spring. It smells like rotten eggs, and that's sulfur. And so this stuff is what helps, you know, minimize that rotten egg smell. But it's perfectly harmless to the body, but it serves as another layer of filtering. Right?
Yeah, that's something really important for you people out there that are on wells. I know that Rachel Ritchie, the genie, the Kong family genie, she's on well water up there in Canada, and so definitely an important component for her water to have that calcium sulfide in there. So yeah, that's super cool. I'm really interested to. That's awesome to be able to learn that. Now we just have another piece of ammo in our gun that we can utilize to help people understand the difference. You know, there's a big difference between the quality of these two filters and the amount of filtration that's actually taking place.
Yeah, I see that okay there?
Yeah, absolutely. That's beautiful.
Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, actually, I missed it here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. One more layer in here. Whereas over here, we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4.
So if we're looking at this in the world of gymnastics, and they just got done, Enagics would have got a perfect score of a 10, and they would only got a 4. That's not even a competition.
Yeah. Yeah. The gymnastics world here.
Garage gymnastics is what you got going on.
Garage gymnastics here. So
yeah, with the SAMURAINATOR.
Yeah, so this is super important because you know, what we buy and what we use kind of says something about what we value, right, guys? You know, like if you buy 99-cent sandals, that doesn't really make a big statement about, you know, what your values are, because it's sandals. It goes on my feet. But if I'm going to buy really cheap stuff to put in my body, and I'm going to shortcut for my health, you know, then that makes a statement about me, you know, as a person and what I value. And unfortunately, in our society, most people do not take ownership. They don't take ownership of, you know, they won't take ownership of this. They'll take ownership of this because it's cheaper. And so they'll, you know, we'll eat cheap food, and we'll take the pills because they're cheap and they're covered by insurance, and then we'll get cheap healthcare, which isn't really cheap. It's expensive healthcare, but it's not effective. It doesn't work. And so, does it take money for prevention? Oh, hell yeah. This stuff's expensive. This stuff's expensive because this stuff is even more expensive. Yeah. So it's a form of prevention, right? So this car, you know, back in 2002, I bought this car for like 32 grand or something like that, and I'm the original owner. Right, and at the time, I could have bought a you know, a $15,000 car. I could have bought, you know, but I wanted to buy either. I was looking at a BMW, or I was looking at an Acura. So I had to choose between German and Japanese because, you know, both are very high engineering. But German cars I can't fix. It's complicated. Japanese cars, I've done every brake job on this car. I've done every oil change on this car. I've replaced light bulbs in the dash. I've swapped out alternators, you know, and all sorts of different things on here. Parts break, cars break, but if you can't take care of it yourself, then you're gonna have to take it to a mechanic. And if you know less than your mechanic, your money soon leaves you. Yes. And so that's the way I look at my body too. If I know less than the car mechanic, the doctor, the money soon leaves me. Right? Yeah. So it's just common sense, and all this is prevention. You know? Yeah, you can get one of those. I've taken apart one of those Fram oil filters. That's like what, $3.99, $5.99 or something. And man, it's just, you guys can look this up on YouTube. The contents of a Fram oil filter, it's just cardboard inside, you know. And so it's just cheaply glued together cardboard, you know, where some of the better oil filters are made with synthetic fiber material, and they got more layers, and they've got metal, you know, metal elements and things like that. So it's just I think it's a statement about what we value in life. And then you know, right now my dad is in the hospital, and so he didn't really, you know, he drank a lot of Coca-Cola, and he ate bad, and he smoked a lot, and so he's 80 now. Thank goodness he made it to 80. But it hasn't been a fun ride probably since 60. So for the past 20 years, he's been like slowly going downhill. And so what's the point of getting to 80 when you get sick at 60?
Yeah. You know, Sam, that's so powerful, because it's, you know, people, they're like I hear people all the time, yeah, my dad lived to be 96. Well, that's awesome. But what was his quality of life like for those last 20 years of his life? Was he actually living, or was he just alive? Because I know I lost two sisters in the last year, both of them up there in their early to late 70s. And I know for a fact that during the last 10 years of their lives, at least, they were just alive. They weren't living. They were hooked up to oxygen tanks. They were suffering. They were always in and out of the doctor, always getting more medications, more pills, and more bills, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And they never really lived during those last years of their life. All the pictures that I see of them during those last years of their lives, they really didn't look very good. They didn't look very healthy. And they, you know, that's just, for me, I want to live. I want to live my whole life. I don't want I don't want to just be alive. Obviously, other people have to make their own choices in that department. But you know, one of the things that I'm trying to get people to understand, and you're being a huge help in that, is that, you know, health is a choice.
Yeah.
Disease is a choice. You want disease? Make these choices. Make bad choices. You'll get it. You'll get your disease. It'll come. No doubt about it.
JJ, may I?
It's kind of funny that we tell our children that life is choices, so make good choices. But when we get to be adults, like we make different kind of choices, and we don't think those choices impact us. So I want to show you guys something here. So can you guys see how many miles are on my car there?
I can't read it.
315?
Yeah.
Wow.
315,000.
200 miles. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Well, listen, my thoughts are, I think everybody wants to live until they turn 90 and such. And look at that car. That car's like an old man car. Like, he's aging well. He's been drinking Kangen for the last 17 years. That's what that Acura's been doing. But I think people want to live that long. They just don't understand the level of commitment required. And until we had this come onto the table, we didn't know either. Yeah. So I just think we're kind of part of the innovators. The early adapters are coming. But I think more and more people are starting to wake up to it. It's just a matter of continuing on in this and putting stuff like this together, which is just bad apples there, Mr. Tran. It says a lot. It substantiates very clearly just what you're talking about, the level of quality versus, you know, good quality versus poor quality.
Yeah, you know, it's just what we value. So a lot of times, you know, what's the biggest objection that people have? Wow, these machines are expensive. I said, yeah, being, you know, it's an investment in your life, you know. So the most valuable years of your life are towards the end, because you get to see the grandchildren grow up and you get to see different generations, right? And so, I mean, all the years are valuable, but it just, there's something apart about, there's something about getting older that people value, you know, and being healthy in those later years. And so, you know, this thing behind me here, it's just a tool. I can get a new car. I can totally get a new car. I mean, that thing's worth like $3,000, you know, but $3,000, I've had this thing up to 115 miles an hour. Just a little test on the freeway, you know, but it still performs. And I'll put that up against any modern car. I mean, I'm not going to win any drag races because I'm not that type of guy, but you know, it gets 32 miles a gallon on the freeway, and you know, it just works, and it's safe, and my kids love that car. It's older than my it's 17 years old. My son is 15. It's older than my son. Right? And so I put synthetic motor oil in it. I put the best oil filters. I put a K&N air filter in it, you know, and I just check the oil, check the transmission. It's really not hard to keep something working good. And so the same thing for me. Like, I am 47, guys. In October 10th, I'll be 48. Does this look like the skin of a 48-year-old?
Oh, no.
You know. So I'm going to these, like this past weekend, I was at a fashion show, and some of the models had more wrinkles than I did. And they're in their 20s and 30s, you know, and I'm like, you know, I just ask them, what's the difference between a grape and a raisin? And they get it, you know, and I show them that beauty water, and they're like, holy crap, this is amazing. How could your skin be almost 48? Well, take care of your stuff. You know, invest in prevention. Huge. This is quite an engineering problem. engineering mindset here, is to create something that's disposable, right? These things you could, these things will clean your the water that you put into your body, but this thing can be disposed, right? This thing is gonna filter some things, but it's gonna let more things in than this one.
Yeah.
And so it gets into your body, which is not disposable.
Right.
It's just a mindset. It's just what people value, and I understand that some people can't, they don't, it's too much for their budget, but I see people rolling around on 20-inch rims. I see people rolling around in, oh, it's my new car that they financed for, right? And they're going to drive that thing probably 5 or 10 years, and it's going to break because they don't know how to fix it, and then they're going to buy a new car.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to drive that thing into the ground, just like I'm going to drive this thing, this physical vehicle. My body is a vehicle too. It takes me from birth to death. So I'm going to drive this thing into the ground, and it's going to be put 6 foot under. But it's going to work until they put me 6 foot under, because I can't buy a new one.
Yeah. You'll be like one of the Hunzakoots, where they don't die of any kinds of diseases. They just all of a sudden don't wake up one morning.
Yeah. And so here's the thing, JJ, and so we know that disease is an issue in our country, right?
Yes, sir.
The diabetes used to be in old people. Grandpa used to have diabetes, and now you've got elementary school kids that are diabetic. Now kids are born type 1 diabetic. It's genetic, right? It's genetic, right? And so they're born with it. And so same thing with cancer, right? Cancer used to be in young people, old people.
Old people.
Old people primarily.
Now it's a leading cause of death disease-wise for children under 14, and I didn't know anybody with cancer in the 70s.
Yeah, like food allergies. Like, who had food allergies when we were growing up?
Gluten.
Yeah. I don't ever remember people like sneezing and coughing like allergic to tree pollen before when I was growing up. There was no Claritin. Did they have Claritin when we were growing up?
No. They had Buttry Osco drug, little yellow tablets, and like Benadryl.
Yeah.
I took them. I had allergies growing up until I started drinking the water. I had to wait till I was 38 and got hydrated before they quit.
Yeah. Like my allergy stopped too. And I just like, what the heck is going on here? Like, I couldn't understand it, but you get these toxins out of your body. You get these toxins out of your body by filtering them out, right? And the toxins don't end up in your body. And then your body's happy. Go figure.
Yeah.
Just like your liver and your kidneys in your body, that's doing that inside the machine. Just like those organs are functioning inside of us.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's it's so true. Either you have a filter or you are the filter.
Yeah. What a great concept.
Yeah, you either have a filter or you are the filter.
Quote that one, JJ.
I love it. I'm gonna have to put that one on the.
Yeah, you have to. That's what you post on this show today. You either have a filter or you are the filter.
And I go drinking, I go eat barbecue, I go eat junk. I love potato chips.
Oh,
so that stuff's gonna come into my body, right? I'm a social guy, right? I'm not sitting alone by myself, like breathing and I go out and I hang out and I go to clubs and stuff like that. I hang out with people, right? But you know what I do as a chaser to all of that? I do my Kangen.
Gone, baby.
As a chaser, right? So you put junk into your body and you chase it with something that's cleaner, and it chases that junk out. It's a chaser, right?
Absolutely. Every day I wake up and I start my day off with a bunch of Kangen water, and every night the last thing I do before I go to bed is drink a bunch of Kangen water. And and it is interesting how much better I feel, how many things have gone away that I didn't even realize were health problems in the first place. things like allergies. I just thought allergies was something that was just a normal part of life. You know, as you get older, you just end up getting allergies, and because your immune system's breaking down or whatever the reason. And, you know, same thing with antacids. I always had heartburn. I had heartburn for years, and I just figured this is a normal thing, and the way you combat it is with a whole bunch of different antacids. When I'd go on a river trip, I'd take 6 different kinds of antacid with me. And I haven't eaten an antacid now in years. And it even better, once I started drinking Kangen water, my whole necessity for antacids went right out the window. I haven't even needed to, you know, if I've gone out and drank a little too much or something like that, and I feel a little heartburn coming on, all I do is just go drink a couple nice big guzzles of Kangen water, and it's gone just like that. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So
It's absolutely amazing. Hey, I wanna show you guys one thing here. So I'm gonna walk through the house here. Sorry, the house is a little messy, but it is what it is.
you live there.
Yeah, there's a family there. There's kids there.
Yeah.
It's like Roseanne said, excuse the house, but we live here.
So we're talking about longevity and stuff, right, guys? So I'm in my backyard, okay, and you see the grill right there?
Yeah.
It's one of these grills, right? So my brother-in-law bought it, probably like 10, 15 years ago. And I'm going to show you guys something here before I show it to you. He asked me if I wanted it because he knows I can fix stuff. And you see the warranty on it?
Can't actually read it. What does it say?
Stainless steel and cast die cast parts. Warranty is 99 years.
99 years.
Can you see that?
Yep.
I was like, what? Like, I've never seen anything with a 99-year warranty. And so he gave me the grill because he's gonna throw it out. And then he gave me the grill. That thing's like, I think it's over. It's probably over 10 years old. It's a different grade of stainless steel, guys. You know, you shake it and nothing rattles. You go to Home Depot and shake the grills now. That thing, the whole thing just rattles because it's not the same. So all these parts, I can still buy parts over a decade later. You know, and so you know, we buy quality, right? If we don't buy quality, then we'll pay for another grill. So what my brother-in-law did was he gave this grill. He was about to put it out on the sidewalk, you know, and give it to someone and just say, put a free sign on it, right? I say, hold up, let me take a look at it. Maybe I could fix it up. I could use it. Right? So I ended up taking it, and I just bought a cover for it and just keep it protected. And so I've had that thing for probably 5 years now. You know, we've been in this house about 10 years, but the thing is, they don't make them like they used to, guys. You guys know that, right?
Yeah.
They don't make things like they used to, because nowadays they make them with what they call these designed obsolescence. They make things that are designed to break apart, and they don't make them so they don't have replacement parts. Let me open the garage here. That you can't order replacement parts, and so if you can't order replacement parts, you got to buy a new one.
Right.
Right. JJ, what's a grill cost down at Home Depot these days?
You know, I haven't really looked at them too much, but I know you can get them from like $150 on up to about $350, or if you want something like we have, like one of those Traegers. I know we spent like $700 on our grill smoker.
Yeah.
And it's made, you know, with a lot better design, a lot nicer quality. But Yeah, you know, you get what you pay for. And I think an interesting part about this particular episode today is that when you look at the quality of that filter that we just tore apart,
Yeah.
you're seeing something that really boils down to everything that this company makes. They
Exactly.
make everything better. They make it with higher quality products, higher quality parts, higher quality everything. And maybe at some point in time, we can do another one of these shows, and we can manage to get our hands on on one of the leach machines and do a similar show like this where we tear that leach machine apart, and then maybe someday we can get an SD5. And the thing about the SD501, for example, is that they're actually designed to be torn apart. You can take them apart, put them back together, and that's one of the beautiful things about them. That's one of the reasons why Dr. Michael says there's no way to buy any other machine, because it is designed that if anything does go wrong with it, it can be fixed. It can be taken apart. It can get new replacement parts. It can get a new CPU and that kind of thing. Where these Leaches machines that are so-called competitors to us,
Disposable.
you can't take them apart. Yeah, they're just like that filter there they're just disposable, and you just buy them and throw them away, and you know, into the landfill they go, and you know, buy another one.
Like paper plates versus fine china.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what it is. Just, you know, and then you've got one ride. I don't know. You know, actually, some people are lucky. They experience heaven, and then they come back and they get to live a second life.
Yes.
But most people only get one. It's a one-way ticket, guys. You know, you get to do this. You get to do it once, and so I tell you, if you're gonna get to do it once, then you better have a good time. You better, you know. My dad's in the hospital. I'm gonna go visit him today again, but he's laid up. They're gonna put a feeding tube in him today, and so that ain't no way to. I'd rather have a nice hamburger or some French fries or whatever. I'd rather have a nice steak or pizza, you know, not something fed to me in a feeding tube.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, brother, that's a great example to people of why they need to, you know, and I appreciate the pictures that you put out of your pop, you know, because sometimes that's the kind of wake-up call that people need. And, you know, the things that you're putting out on a daily basis are such a blessing to the family. And, you know, it's just, all we can do is keep sharing the word, keep telling the truth, and keep bringing value to the world every day. And hopefully people, as time goes by, are going to wake up and realize that, you know, just one day in the hospital is $6,000. And
that would be a cheap stay.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. It'd be interesting to see what the charge is per day for your pops that's in there right now. But yeah, people think the Kangen $4,000 or $5,000 Kangen water machine is expensive. Wait till you get disease. You'll find out what expensive is all about.
That's true.
And even if you do have insurance, you're going to find out what expensive is all about. And that's what we're about, is showing people value, because there is absolutely no more valuable product on this planet that a human being can buy than a Kangen water machine. It's literally, when people ask me what it is, I tell them it's the single most important thing that you could do for yourself. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Hey,
you know,
along those lines of the hospital and talking about that, just to go along with what we're talking about, what is the first thing they typically do to patients when they get into the hospital?
Yeah, surprise, surprise. It's called
on an IV to hydrate you.
Yeah. The first thing they do is they put you with a bag of 1,000 cc's or mLs of water plus salt. Sodium for injection. So they hook you up and they get you rehydrated. And then that's how they stabilize you. For $800.
Ah.
Yeah, it's just like one of our buddies that was a big workout dude. I can't think of his name, but he ended up with Hodgkin's lymphoma. And he was a big time workout dude. He was a workout coach, a trainer, spent most of his life in the gym working out, and he drank nothing but water, nothing. But he was drinking bottled waters of different sorts and types and whatever, but he was drinking a couple of gallons a day of regular water. And so, and he was working out, he was eating right, he was, you know, organic diet, all that kind of stuff. And then he all of a sudden had the big C. And when he went into the hospital the first time, they said, "You're dehydrated." And he was like, "What? How? Me? I'm dehydrated? I drink 2 gallons of water a day and I don't drink anything but water. How the heck can I be dehydrated?" Well, you're drinking water that doesn't hydrate you.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Dehydrate you.
yeah, so water that doesn't hydrate you is water that sits on the outside of a cell. So let's say you've got a cell here. You want the water to be on the inside. That's called hydration. If water is just floating around on the outside and your cells are swimming in the water, but the water's not getting inside, right? That's kind of like holding your breath.
Like drowning your cells.
Yeah. Well, no, drowning your cells would be water getting inside, right? Dehydration, right? So this is like kind of like holding, you have to have oxygen, right, to live. And so the point of oxygen is to get into your body, into your cells, into your blood, right, into your lungs, right? The whole point of oxygen is to get inside so you could use it inside your body. But if you hold your breath or you got a plastic bag on your head, no oxygen is getting in. And so that means you're going to be dead pretty soon. So same thing on the cellular level with water. Water's got to get inside, not just float around on the outside. It's called intracellular. So that's hydration. So you can actually measure the amount of intracellular water percentage. So amazing stuff. But they don't tell you about that. They tell you, hey, you need this pill, you need that pill.
Right.
Keep
Absolutely
drinking
not.
that beverage. Keep eating that sugar.
Yep. And so it's probably a lot of my friends think I'm a conspiracy theorist or whatever, but I say it's not a conspiracy if it's true.
Touche.
It's like, hey, wheels and tires are round. Oh wow, I don't know, Sam, you're a conspiracy theorist. No, man, it's true. It just, it's just logic. Yeah.
Yep.
So any other questions, you guys? Hopefully that was helpful today to take one of those things apart.
Yeah, I think that's going to be tremendously helpful. I think it, like I said before, it pretty much sums up the epitome of what this company is all about. It's about quality and it's about value. And as we love to say around here, it's about changing the world. We have this really simple goal, and that's just to change the world. And that's what we're doing. That's what our aim is. And that's why we go about doing things that we do every day. And so, hey, Sean, how was it again that we're changing the world?
One hydrogen-rich, oxygen-saturated, absolutely, supremely, indubitably hydrating glass of Kangen water, 9.5 at a time. Thank you very much.
Amen, brother. One lightning bolt in a box. One incredible guest, like our brother right here, Sam Tran, the SAMURAINATOR. He's here to take down the establishment and change the world right along with the Kong family. And we are so blessed to have him with us. And Sam, thank you so much, buddy, for taking your time to give this incredible demonstration today. I can't tell you how grateful I am for you being willing to come in here once a month and share some value that we can turn around and utilize and share with people so they understand what it is we're doing and how we're trying to save their lives. Like you say all the time, people think I sell a water machine. No, what I'm doing is I'm trying to save your life. That's what I'm trying to do. And the truth is, for me, I don't care where people buy their Kong machines. Just buy it. Just get it. If you don't want to get it from me, fine. Get it from someone else. I don't care. Just get it. I'm trying to save your life. I don't care about the money. The money is going to come along because when you're doing the right thing, you're going to get the right things in return. And so I'm not concerned about that. I'm more concerned that people get out there, learn what they need to learn, and get their con machine into their life and their life, the life of their families, so they can live and not just be alive.
True.
And not be suffering. And that's what we want. We want people to live. So
Not this one, okay,
Sam,
guys? Yeah,
just-
it's a choice, guys. You choose this one or you choose this one.
you know, in that regard, man, just what we're talking about. Please give your dad our best. You know,
Yeah.
he might not have realized all that, you know, and he might be realizing it a little late. And just pray that he's able to maintain or recover any level of quality he can. But yeah, just give him our best, man. We're thinking of him. We appreciate you sharing the vulnerability just for the sake of, you know, educating and being transparent. I'll keep him in my thoughts and prayers, that's for sure.
Well, thank you, guys. Thank you for having me on, and thank you for sharing this mission with the world. You know, it's just I left my previous career because I became morally conflicted with what we were doing, and so there's a lot of nurses, doctors, and healthcare professionals that are even the nurse I was talking to last night. She was like, I don't understand what's going on. Like, we keep on helping all these people, but they keep on, it's like a tidal wave of sickness. Like, I don't know what's going on. I say, well, it's all the chemicals, it's all the food, you know, we got too much. And she's saying, yeah, I think you're right. Okay, well, you know, I think I'm right, but you know, but who am I? I just don't want to end up in this bed. You know, but even the nurses are fed up with the system. And she was saying, yeah, it's too much pharmaceutical drugs. They always pump us up once we're sick, and no one talks about prevention. And I told her what I did, and she goes, "Wow, good for you, because we need more people like you to even keep the nurses healthy."
Yeah.
So I appreciate you guys' time, and then we'll catch up later, and then maybe we'll plan on taking apart a whole nother machine next time or something.
Yeah, I'd love to do that, just because, you know, that's what we're trying to do. We got to demonstrate. Sometimes we have to demonstrate the water through the demonstrations that we do to show people how it's different. You know, showing people the difference between one machine and another is something that could be really powerful too, to help people understand what they're getting. That why is this machine costing what it costs? Well, it's because you get what you pay for, just like with that filter right there.
Yeah, you know, if you guys get other machines that people like, you know, at yard sales, or you know, people toss away their old machines, or you know, I don't know, Goodwill or something like that, or people just, you know, give it to you, and so send it to me. I'll take it apart. Other filter companies too. There's so many of these MTech leeches around, right? And so they have replacement filters, and so send them to me. I'll cut one of those open and see what's inside.
Sounds great. Love to do it. Always love getting on with you, Sam. You always bring so much value. We appreciate it. So thank you very much for helping us accomplish our mission. And God bless you and your father and your family. And look forward to seeing you again soon. And make it a great day, buddy. Get out there, change the world, starting with your own. Do not forget your hugs, buddy. Do not forget your hugs and your HooDeeHoos.
All right, guys. Have a blessed day. Love you guys.
Make it a great day,
Love
buddy.
you, bro. Thanks, man.
All right, bye-bye.